maybe more to Mbeere people than the kingpins or the people who we might call our leaders. But what I can say is that it is cemented. This victory, first of all, it was the contest was choreographed to be a contest between Gachagua and Kindiki. Yeah, since Kindiki took office 1 year ago, Gachagua has been in denial. You know that there's another person here who could be driving the politics of the mountain. And kama kawaida, we can say this game is halftime. Is at halftime. Kindiki, round one, takes it. So Gachagua is a very, very, very downtrodden man. His ego is bruised. His energy is cut. His tail, his feathers in the tail are now plucked. So I can tell you for sure, the loss in Malava does not hurt Gachagua like what like the loss in Mbeere North. So for the first time, people around this region, especially the east side of the mountain, can now easily say that Kindiki can control the regions of the politics of the region, and he has demonstrated. He camped there from 17th of November to 20th of November, day in, day out, until that victory was gotten in Mbeere North. So he's first of all indefatigable. He worked extremely hard. He's seasoned as a politician. He's been a senator for 10 years. He's been majority leader. He's been speaker, deputy speaker of the Senate. He's been the Minister of Interior as a CS. So he's not new. He knows the road, and he knew what to do. And also he's a student of William Ruto, the indefatigable nature of the politics, high adrenaline, the energy he injected into the campaign. I can tell you for sure, if you remove Kindiki from the equation, that election would have been otherwise, would have gone elsewhere. Maybe Kari should have taken it. You can tell from the vibe across the nation, and you can feel the air about the victory by Karish. The united opposition side, Gachagua's camp, is completely devastated. They are very, very, very worried about the outcome of that election. And since I was there and I went to so many polling stations, I can tell you for sure the youth didn't turn up to vote. I saw them during the campaign. I didn't see many of them during the election. I took photos of the queues, the lines, the polling stations, just to demonstrate to some of my people that the youth we had during the campaign, they didn't turn up. It's the old women, yeah, and the old men who are queuing and being patient, waiting to elect people. A few of our generation, the young people, they're around market centers. I'm not sure why, but it tells you something. So if the generation that is selling Ruto must go, Kasongo, one term, is our age mates and our generation, and then they don't turn up to vote, what do you expect? Yeah. So I sincerely hope, since this could determine how the next election goes, if the other side wants to make a difference, they need to go to Mashinani, they need to talk to the people, they need to mobilize the old men, the old women. There are people who could not turn up to vote. The other side, the Leo Mudende side, was seen mobilizing motorbikes to pick voters, bring them to polling stations, come to vote. And then the other camp is waiting for organically for a voter to come and vote for them, and then they win the election. It's never like that. So there's some bit of extra work that has to be done. And I think moving into the electioneering period, which is just around the corner, I think um, unless the opposition side changes their tactic, this election, based on this election, they need to pick the lessons that they have learned from there. They need to do things a little bit different, while the government side, led by, on this side of the mountain, led by the Deputy President, Kithure Kindiki, needs to put more energy into their campaign. They need to do more development projects because, you know, when you're in power, you cannot sell hope. You say, I've done. So they need to do more in Meru, they need to do more in Tharaka-Nithi, they need to do more in Embu, this side of the mountain in particular, and I think that will give them some more energy, some more vigor in their campaign, and possibly likability and re-election of President William Ruto. Gachagua, I think perhaps due to resource capacity in terms of financing an election and those kind of things, I wouldn't believe they didn't have money, because they also have seriously blessed people within the ranks of DCP, within the ranks of DP, in the name of JB Muturi, in the name of Lenny Kivuti, on the other hand, in the Basque camp, who are all together pulling their resources together. But they were literally skimming over the area. They were just moving around and skimming over the area. And they didn't sell agenda. That's a major difference. They were selling hate. Gachagua was literally selling hate. I think maybe they thought Ruto would come to campaign there or something. Ruto didn't step there even as on a single day. So there was nothing to hate. You can't tell people to hate Kindiki. What has he done? You can't tell people to hate Leo Mudende or Waziri Roko. That was a major difference. If they were selling the agenda of their candidate, I think things perhaps would have been different. If you notice what Kindiki would do for 45 minutes on the podium, he would talk about the agenda of Leo Mudende and creating a nexus between Leo's agenda and the agenda of UDA, and therefore the agenda of Kenya Kwanza administration, about roads infrastructure, about water, about electricity connectivity, about education, but in Mbeere, with, you know, you'd scale down and create a nexus between the national politics, national development agenda, and the development agenda of Mbeere North, so so that people would understand why they are supporting Leo. And I think that was a major difference between the campaigns, because I personally, I was there and I saw the difference in that the margin in that election was not about the big rallies and the big crowds that they would pull. It was about what is it that you're going to do. If Leo, for instance, does not start the education fund, benevolent fund that he talked about during the campaign, that Kindiki espoused when he came to support him, I'm not sure the people of Mbeere North will give me another chance in under 2 years, the next election. But I think it was the agenda that he was selling that would appeal to the people. And Roko, it's good to mention this, the predecessor, Roko, had done a good job in terms of development agenda. And we would go to places where ordinarily the politics was clan-based, but you'd be embraced by the people, especially Evrori Ward. Evrori Ward is about 26,000 registered voters. Talking numbers, Muminji Ward has about 8,000 registered voters. Ndawa Ward has about 18,000 registered voters. Karish comes from Muminji Ward, which is the smallest in terms of numbers. And Dawa, Leo comes from Dawa Ward, which is about 18,000 registered voters. And the other candidate, Duncan Boy, who had about 2,000 votes, comes from Evrori 1, which is Shiara, Kanyombora, those parts, with about 26,000 registered voters. But now you see, this guy who won Leo Mudende, Leon Anjero Mudende, never thought you'd get the votes, in my view, the votes that he got in Ivurori ward. He stole the votes from the candidate who was from there, the former MCA, Duncan Boy. It took the votes from him because of the agenda that he was selling. If you look at the voters in Karangare, for instance, Karangare, which is a big polling station, St. Peter's, Eshiara, which is a big station, Kianjeru, which is a big station, Siangera, big station, you know, Modandara, big stations. Those votes swung towards Leo because of the agenda. Because it's not from their side, it's from Muminji. There's too much presence of a Rumbe clan in that place. But they voted for this other guy. Why? Because of the agenda I think he was selling and the backing he had from Kindiki about the development agenda. There's a road which was very consequential, which comes from, I think, Kuyari to Karambari. I think passes through some place in Kiwambiti, that side, Keniri, that side, and then comes all the way to Ishiara, which is about 45 kilometers. And I think selling that road to them, which has already started, been advertised and the contractor is coming on site, that has helped. There's another road, the upper part, the Kavengero part, Mubakari, they call it Kanyombora part, which passes through JB Moturi's and Kivuti's place, goes all the way back again to Chicago. And also the water project. There's a major infrastructure projects there that have really helped in the campaign. I think that was the cutting edge a bit, and the difference between the government side and the opposition side, because the government side was able to dish out development projects that gave them a kick that they really needed. I think I need to be cautious on how I respond to that question. It's not, we should not look at it as if it's a do or die thing, like he has to be deputy president. It's rather, what can he do to become the president in 2032? This is my view. If Kindiki is not deputy president in 2027, William Ruto's deputy or running mate in 2027, it will help him even more to become president in 2032, because you'll not carry the burden of incumbency anywhere. You'll be his own man. You come out there, you talk to the people, and I think you read the charges outside government that may help, in the end, capture power in 2032. On the other hand, if he's William Ruto's running mate and being an inch closer to the presidency, I think the people around this side of the mountain will see the only man who is closer, the only person who is closer to the goal who can get this pass and score against whoever the opposition will be Kindiki. So it's a double-edged thing, and I need to be cautious on how I respond. Suffice to say that yes, those who took him as a walkover will now have to rethink. Yeah.